Hi everyone, it's Jaden, and you're listening to the Health Notes podcast, where I talk about everything from health and lifestyle to mindset for the performing artist. Whether you're a singer, an actor, or simply a health and fitness enthusiast, I hope you'll join me in discovering how we can elevate our health to give our best performances. Hi everyone, welcome back to Health Notes, where we explore how to stay healthy, balanced, and positive while pursuing a career in the performing arts. And today we're going to be talking about just that, how to stay positive and survive, even thrive during those long rehearsal weeks. When you're in a show on top of classes and other commitments, it's easy to get overwhelmed, obviously, and put your personal needs on the back burner. But today, I'm going to be sharing some of my personal experiences, science-backed tips for staying positive, and practical strategies for managing your time even during the most demanding seasons. First, a little bit about my busy schedule this semester. I'm about to start rehearsing for a show that's going to include a lot of late nights. On top of that, I'm preparing for my graduate recital that's around the same time of the show, and well, I'm just trying to keep up with all the music I need to practice on top of my other classes. Safe to say, I'm in the practice room a lot these days, and honestly, it can kind of get lonely at this stage of the game. This is the reality for most singers. If you're in undergrad, it's especially challenging because you're juggling general education classes, music theory, voice lessons, ensemble rehearsals, and potentially opera scene classes. And let's not forget the outside practice and homework, which is a lot to handle, especially if you're not aware of how credit hours work in music. To give you an idea of how it was for me, an ensemble class might be listed as 1 credit hour, but it can actually take up 4 or more hours a week, not including your individual practice, outside rehearsals, and time that it takes to memorize all the lyrics and staging. It's very easy to underestimate how much time these small credits can demand, and if you overschedule yourself for the semester just because it looks like you have time on your calendar, it can get very hectic. But I promise you, it's doable. I've been there and I've learned a lot along the way about how to manage the workload and still stay positive and healthy. It's definitely taken some trial and error to find out what actually works best and how to actually fit these changes into my already busy schedule. But first, let's talk about why it's so important to be mindful of your workload and staying positive through it all. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're working long hours and stressing about off-book deadlines, papers, and the infamous not getting sick before a performance. But studies show that incorporating gratitude into your routine can significantly reduce this stress and increase resilience. In fact, it's often the stress that can take a toll on our bodies and wear down our immune systems, which is why you only seem to get sick when something important is happening. Gratitude and positivity help shift your focus from what might go wrong to what's going well today. It grounds you in the present, and I find that alone helps me get more things done. I'm looking forward to what needs to be done today rather than what needs to get done this month. So what exactly do you have to do to stay sane during Tech Week and Finals Week? Well, here are some things that have become very important once my schedule gets busy. Number 1 is exercise. Movement is really non-negotiable for me. Even if it's just a 20-minute walk or a quick Pilates session, I make sure to get moving every day. Walking especially helps clear my head after a long day. I can also double task while walking. I actually found that I memorize lyrics the best when I'm walking on the track or the treadmill while speaking the text to my song. In fact, there is a theory called embodied cognition that claims physical movement in relation to what you're learning creates neural pathways that reinforce what we're trying to remember. It almost has the same effect of blocking for me. You know how memorization suddenly gets easier when there's movement added in? Maybe walking can simulate the same result. Number 2 is journaling and gratitude practice. Every morning, I journal. I start by writing down random things that are on my mind just to get it all on paper, then 3 things I'm grateful for. I also write down 3 things that I know I need to do in order to feel my best. The last part of this practice is reading the Bible and prayer. When I started incorporating this consistently, I noticed a huge change in my outlook and mood in the morning. I was honestly skeptical at first, but the actual act of writing something down and seeing it on paper instead of just thinking it is so beneficial. Staying spiritually grounded also gives me perspective for the day and helps me remember that I'm not doing this alone. I like to do all of this earlier in the day because it really just sets up my day for success and it helps me look forward to the day instead of dread it. Number 4 is kind of specific, but it is complimenting others. This might sound small and kind of off topic, but trust me, when you make an effort to compliment someone, it creates a whole different atmosphere in the room. Of course, use your social skills to know when to give the compliment, but shifting the focus off of yourself by lifting another up is the best feeling. You've heard that giving feels better than receiving. Well, I'd say whenever I compliment someone in a stressful situation, it feels like that. And the best part is it's contagious, and then other people start complimenting too. Pretty soon, whatever is stressing me out isn't so important anymore, and you feel more connected with the people around you. Number 5 is kind of along the same lines, and that is social connections. I feel like there is nothing worse than feeling isolated and alone during a stressful season. And even if you have deep, great relationships in your life, it is very easy to feel isolated when you're spending so much time alone, practicing and studying, and honestly just worrying. I know that for myself, I have to find time to call a friend or a family member. Texting just doesn't work for me. I have to either see someone's face or hear their voice to feel the effects. A long talk with a friend, even over the phone, can release the hormone oxytocin, which promotes the feeling of trust and safety. Sometimes I even make it like a little reward after a long day and call someone on the way home. Seriously, call instead of text. It makes a huge difference. Now, you might be wondering, how do I fit all of this into an extremely busy day? The answer is time blocking. Time blocking is a scheduling method where you assign specific blocks of time to different tasks. Instead of having an endless to-do list, which often I had before time blocking, you're giving each task a designated spot on your calendar. Here's how I like to use it. First, I write in all of my classes and obligations for the week that I know I can't move around. Then I start blocking off time by hours and filling it with the things that I know I need to do in order to be my best self. For example, 6 to 7 a.m., I start with journaling, gratitude practice, and a short Bible reading. This sets a positive tone for the day. 7 to 8 a.m., run or work out. I schedule this early in the day when I have the most energy. 12 to 3 p.m., I set aside uninterrupted time for recital prep or show rehearsals whenever they are. And then 8 p.m., call friends or family. 9 p.m., wind down, read, plan for tomorrow. And then 10 p.m., sleep. Yes, I even blocked out time for sleep because I like to track how many hours I'm sleeping each night. It makes a lot of difference if I've slept 5 hours rather than a total of 8. I personally like 9 because it just makes me feel my best, but sometimes that's not realistic. I'm a very visual person, so I color code these blocks on my calendar so I can see what I'm spending the most time doing or not doing. For example, fitness is orange, classes are green, and gratitude is pink. Just makes everything look nice. The key to time blocking is being realistic and flexible. If you're like me and love efficiency, it's so easy to overschedule yourself. But as I started practicing time blocking, I noticed that I wasn't being realistic with everything I was trying to fit into my day. For example, I didn't consider how long it would take me to get somewhere or how long it actually took me to get into the right mindset to write a paper or practice, for example. And I don't know why, but when I overbook myself, I tend to procrastinate even more. I kind of give up if I can't stick to my schedule perfectly. So time blocking is more of just a supporting structure to my day rather than a set in stone plan. And I can still get everything done with an idea of this structure. In short, don't overfill your schedule and act like it's all or nothing. Leave some margin for flexibility because, let's be honest, you're gonna need to be flexible in this career. Surviving and thriving during long rehearsals and crazy busy seasons in life is all about balance. It's about taking care of your body, mind, and spirit so you can show up as your best self. Even if you're not a performer, this still applies to those long nights catching up on emails and work. Know the things that are important to you and will help you thrive no matter what life throws your way. If it's time spent with your family, make that non-negotiable. If it's a quick run or reading your favorite book, make sure you schedule them in. Acknowledging your priorities in life and making time for them only helps your performance at work. If you're in the thick of it right now, know that you're not alone. Take it one day at a time, lean into your support system, and don't forget to celebrate the small wins along the way. It's so easy to get caught up in everything you didn't get done, and you forget everything that you have actually accomplished. I am definitely guilty of this. As a performer, you don't always get a regular paycheck like everyone else. Instead, you practice and keep working, sometimes without anything in return. Something I like to do as a part of my journaling practice is write down at least 3 things I accomplished that day and 3 lessons I learned from yesterday. This helps me keep track of how I am growing, and it's just really encouraging to see how much work I'm actually putting into my art that isn't always on display. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Health Notes so you never miss an episode. Share this with a friend who might need some encouragement during their busy season, and leave a review. It really helps more people find the podcast. And let's connect on Instagram. Follow me at Health Notes Podcast for more tips on staying healthy as a performer. Until next time, sing strong and stay healthy. The information in this podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any decisions related to your health.